Hello, everybody. I am Luna. I am the owner and operator of Luna's Enlightenment. This is Luna and Friends, where we talk about body, mind, and spirit alignment. And each week we have a guest who gets to talk about themselves, their experiences here on Earth as just being a human, and all of the amazing stories that they have. So, just a little bit about myself. I like to make candles. It's like a passion, everything that anytime that I start to hit like a really big tower moment, what I do is make candles. I don't know, I just it's an art and I love it. So I actually am expanding by starting to teach more on candle making as a form of art therapy, which I absolutely love. I enjoy doing it. And I also do spiritual readings. I help with guidance. And then I do like a lot of self-love and confidence building because that's something that we need to really reach our full potential is that love for ourselves. So today I am joined by my lovely friend who is from all the way from Australia, and his name is Jay. So Jay, I would love to hear a little bit more about you and what you do.
How you going there, Luna? Yeah, all the way from Australia with all the kangaroos. Yes, we do have them in the backyard. Yeah, my name's Jay. I run my life under Journey of a White Feather. Probably seen it on YouTube and TikTok and all the other social media platforms. But basically, how I got to this point in my life is basically became a healer of sorts, a physical healer to start with regards to massage, myotherapy, and all that. And I had a very big interest in, I guess we'll call it the spirit world. You're talking about any type of stuff. We used to watch Charmed and all these kind of things that got me interested in I guess the next realm, if you want to put it that way, or what is out there other than the physical. And I've always been a superhero freak. I run a costume group, so I'm Melbourne Robin. I will dress up as Robin. Yep. So not Batman, but Robin. But all these stuff here comes in together because it's all that fantasy world. So basically, what happened was I went through the life went for so many years. And found out that I was about it was about 2019, sort of had the spiritual breakdown, where something happened that basically tipped me over the edge, and I basically lost it, sort of thing like that. And I was just wondering why it happened, but it was a tower moment. I broke down, had no idea, had lots of anxiety attacks, had I guess a pseudo stroke, if you want to put it that way. It wasn't a stroke, it was the symptoms going through me. And I sort of had to look at why and what was happening within my life that has been like that. And it was basically trying to reshape and reform my mind, my emotions, my mental health, if I want to put it that way, but also my spirituality, and working out exactly what was going on. And it was really funny that it was really mirroring what happened when I was a kid. So that's where the shadow work comes in. Now, I love all things dark, right? I love all horror movies. I go dress up as Bray Wyatt, as the Fiend WWE superstar. And everyone thinks, oh, dark, evil, all those kind of things. But the shadow is so important in our lives. And this is what opened up my love for what all things shadow work, if you want to put it that way, or shadow self, or the dark side. We will put the dark side, the stuff that's basically inside that I guess, cage within you that you have to let out, and you can become a better person if you actually face it. But there's a couple of stages in that I found out. So I've become, I wouldn't say obsessed, but I sort of relate everything back to where the shadow work that I do. Um, so I've been there doing that now. So where I am right now, just to cut short, so you can ask more questions. Basically, I run two internationally renowned podcasts. I've got Life Theories with Diana, Trabo's the Universe, Sarah, Big Soul Healing, and Cortez Medford, the big fella Batman over in the UK, international flavor. We call ourselves Life Theories. We've been chatting about our spiritual journey, our spiritual growth for the last 2 years. And also, I have a podcast with my bestie, uh, the Maple Leaf Beauty, they call her. Well, I call her anyway. So I'm trying because I love pro wrestling. So Jackie Lyons, she's in the Akashic Record healer, reader, and energy healer. And we do a TikTok live every week. And we're also now live on Spotify with our 1111 Spiritual Transit podcast, where we do interviews. We talk to ourselves about what's happening in the world right now, right now, and how it's affecting us and how we can help others. And also we do a lot of interviews. We had the lovely Luna on here a couple of months ago, where we give her the platform to have a talk about her life and times and how she got to exactly where she is right now. So it's a big thing. I guess the shadow work is where I'm at the moment. And obviously healing, using that as what I call the bat belt of gifts that I've been given. I've got physical healing, which I do, got Reiki, all these things that we've learned, crystal healing, everything we've got. And we're like Batman. We've got all these utility belt with full of little gadgets or little skills that we can use to help people. So depending on what you need, we bring it out. But I found out that I think the main thing from doing all this work is me connecting to the universe and connecting to myself into the heart chakra or into the heart, that the energy I give out and the person that I am can heal others in a lot of ways. Well, give them the strength to heal. Doesn't matter if I'm doing music, I'm a bit of a muso. I'm doing some tribute bands. Depending if I'm in front of someone and whatever skill I can give, whatever inspiration I can give through music, words. Like I write poetry. I'm an author. I'm a phys ed teacher, so I write a resource manual for teachers with games. Again, it's got that spirit of fun and giving back to the community. And also, I love writing poetry. And also, yeah, I'll be writing a book called Journey of a White Feather. You can hear it live on Spotify. We're going to actually get it printed. But that's just my life and times as I went through the awakening process. So that in basically, so if once you open that door, you can go through and find a lot of things, but there's a lot of other stages that people really have to sort of understand. So I'm going to give that out to others in the way that I need to. I just want to do a big shout out to Greg Riley, Michael McNair, and Deidre James, who started me on this journey, who took me under my wing when I had no idea. And here I am talking to my lovely friend in the US of A. How's that? There you go. All yours,
Right.
Luna.
Exactly, like, and then a lot of the Sarah and Jackie and Diana, they were all guests on the show as well, and then we're all
Awesome.
friends as well. So that's how we even got connected, was from the ladies, and just making these connections and being able to build even more. So one of the things that I noticed when you were speaking and how you were talking about like the Batman, and that those are all your tools in the shadow work. And I absolutely love your analogy, because for me, what I say is I work with the chakra system, and I'm like, this is like the like Pikachu, like Dragon Ball Z. And you got you need
Good one.
your solar plexus, like here's Pikachu, and those are like your
Love
power
it.
sources. So I
Yes.
love how you made that analogy with the tools, with like being Batman and living in the shadow, because a lot of work I'm like, all right, let's supercharge ourselves, and we take on and we become like that superpower, but we also need that in that aspect as well, where it's more quiet and in the dark. So I
Yes.
like that.
Have you I'll ask your listeners and your viewers. There's a lot of different aspects that we've been opened up, a lot of concepts we've been opened up to. And my big one was ascension, which I talked to Danny Searle about in Brisbane, and also just and understanding that two things, that you go through a forbidden door too, because people don't really want to go through there to face themselves. And that's what we did through when I went through the twin flame. But also understand that we are one and we have power within ourselves. And one thing that people I don't really think understand is actually truly turning every situation, that every lesson that comes to you, every lesson, every um, moment that is significant, or a message that comes, you're turning it back onto yourself and working out how you can become a better person. Because yes, we have to blame others, because we do blame others, and they always say forgive others and all that, but they have to live their journey too, and we have to set boundaries. So there's a lot of stuff going in your head where you're trying to control your ego in a lot of ways, because people do hurt you. People do and as empaths, I'm sure you are too. We can see that people are doing the wrong things. So how do we manage that in our lives? You know what I mean? So there's a lot of internal work going, because you're sort of changing your programming in some ways. You know what's right, but you got your old programming. And I think in the last couple of years, especially last year, we found that the changing of the guard's coming, and a lot of us white lighters, as I call it, from Charmed. There's another reference, Charmed.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, we're all coming forth on this level. So yeah,
I used to absolutely love Charmed growing up. I watched like all of the episodes. I would rewatch it. And there's like three shows that I absolutely love: Grey's Anatomy, Charmed, and Pretty Little Liars. And I would binge watch
love
those.
we love those. We love Pretty Little Lies.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's that's like your frequency, like the things that you kind of relate to. And I had said this in another, I don't know if it was another podcast that I did or I was a guest, I don't know. But I was talking about this, about how whatever like the music that you listen to, you relate to people in that way because that's that frequency. Oh, I think it was with Sarah. So we were talking about like music and how, how you listen to a certain band or a certain genre of music and that group of people, not in a stereotypical way, but they have, similar stories or they dress similar. They have a lot of similarities with likes. And then I was even going on speaking about how they their lives, and a lot of them are like daycare teachers or educators, things like that, or they kind of fit in like similarities, and that's because that's our frequency. And when we manifest people and jobs and things like that in our lives, we're going to manifest certain aspects of us to have that comfortability and companionship.
It's very funny you say that because now I get see a couple of things when you become aware and become connected to the universe. You get a lot of messages, and I've been getting messages for so long. I don't look, you're half asleep when you get them in night. I vision every night. It's just crazy, but it's really funny when you connect to connect to music, connect to a film of some sort because there's a message within it that you won't really understand until you're at that, till you get to that level that you've been go right out. That message means this. So you might miss it when it's say 5 years ago, you watch the same movie, but that piece of information misses you because you need to get it right then and there. I do believe in the flow in that way that you get messages in every single form. You just got to work out exactly what the message is for. It's mainly for yourself to understand. They're giving you, or for me, it's the universe talking to me. Like they're reassuring me all the time. Like, and um, there's so much you can talk about with regards to the issue. Like not just blindly. It's a case of blind trust in some ways, but you're basically just walking what you need to do. I'll give you another analogy for that in that way. You play Mario, right? Everyone's
Mm-hmm.
playing Mario. Everyone's playing Mario. Think about Mario in your life, right? If you're Mario, you're just walking the life, right? What happens when you get a coin? You get $100 or something, whatever it may be. That's an opportunity, right? Then you
Mm-hmm.
get these plants that go up and shoot you, right? And try to kill you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in the game, so clickbait that. What do? Either you jump on it and destroy it, or you jump over it and avoid it. Think about that when an opportunity comes along. When something comes to block your path, what do? You have to deal with it, or you can jump over it. And you can go another way you can, and then the next way you can look at is you can, if you haven't learned that lesson, you have to go back to the start and start again. So it's the
Mm-hmm.
same thing in life. So you still haven't learned that lesson, we'll go through the process again. So it's very funny that I only had this analogy in the last couple of days. And I just think I find that very easy for people to understand. There's a lot of universal powers, a lot of universal theories and laws that you got to go through. I think the big one is actually with Aaron Doherty. I watched a video of his a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying about forcing. Now, forcing could go in a lot of ways. Now, you force instead of letting things flow, and it was it's a good one to think about because when you do something, you got to put energy into it, right? That's fine because you can't move. If you can't walk from here to America without moving, right? But
Mm-hmm.
how much force do you put into it? And does the force become obsessive? So what it is having the law of disassociation, I think, or something like that. Whereas you don't have to put too much force in it because it looks like it's forcing an outcome. Whereas if you're walking and you find an opportunity, say something might come up, so you still do what you've got to do. You don't just sit there like some people go and go, oh, everything's going to come to me. Yeah, no, that's not going to work. We all know that. Greg Riley, my friend, just said it the other day. That's not going to work. But if you walk and an opportunity comes along, then you deal with it. What you go. You deal with the opportunity come up. For example, this one that came up for me with you, Luna. So you messaged me and said, "Oh, we want to do an interview." Fantastic. We wouldn't have had that interview if we hadn't walked the journey. If that makes any sense. So it's a case of trusting your path in what you want to do, and that's a big one. Aaron Doherty put that in a video. I might send it to you and see if I can find it because I've got a new computer. See if I can find it and send it to you. But it was an interesting thing. But one of the universal laws, as we all know, is not to force. If you force it, it's not gonna happen, or it's gonna happen at a slower pace. You got to trust that this is the way it's got to go. So it's a lot of inner trust in the world that I think we've lost because we've been disconnected from the universe and been disconnected from the earth, and that's another whole story we can go into.
I like that message. I definitely feel like I had to listen to that at this moment. Because it was a challenge, not a challenge, but it was one of those, getting here and getting to this
Yes.
to where we are today. Because it was like, like you said, just gotta push through, and it's like time to do season 2. Let's make it happen. It's
Yeah.
not gonna happen unless I choose to make it happen. So I'm like, all right, let's just start booking recordings. I don't know what the future is gonna bring, and I want to have my recordings done. So let's get them done. So while I
We've
have
got
the time, let's do
that's
it.
that's exactly it. So I look, I'm just looking for that one now, but it's a case of I've done a lot of videos and done a lot of things, and then it comes to an end when it just feels like you got to go on to the next thing, and you just got to trust it. You go, okay, and you sort of don't you think yourself, okay, have I stopped my flow in some ways? I question myself in that way. Like I used to do like trivia videos and all that, but at the time, that's when I needed to do it. So I trusted, right, now I've got to move on to this. And this is where we were saying about having a few things on the go and you've got to give them equal energy, but the universe will guide you to where it has to be. And you just got to trust it. You really do. It's not a case of having blind trust, but you got to trust it with the understanding that you're going to move forward. And I think going through the spiritual awakening and the twin flame journey and all those kind of things, which I had a total, I guess we call it a spiritual breakdown or a spiritual tower moment. I won't say those other words because you'll get clickbaited and deleted maybe. But you look at that and you can look inside yourself and learn the lessons. It's such a hard life to do, but you got to have that. I wouldn't be able to go through that pure spiritual um spiritual death if in that way if I hadn't gone through the first one to understand this is the path you got to go. It's like going through it's like being in spiritual school in some ways. When you first have it, you join kindergarten or you go on through, then you go to high school, university, PhD, whatever it may be. It's still a process, and the stronger you get, the more understanding you get, the better you can the better you can deal with it.
So tell me a little bit more about your experience when you realized that you were going in through a spiritual awakening.
Okay, so there's two ways. I went through two, right? Um, well, we'll go through. So number one, when I first 2019, there was a family member that said something to me. Now that triggered everything. That basically I lost my marbles. We'll say marbles. I won't be saying any other words. And that's when I started falling over pretty badly. Anxiety attacks. Um, basically anxiety of just fear, like sitting there, like you're in bed going, oh my God, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And that opened up my what we call well, that's where the shadow was coming in because you understand that was like a emotional response from when you were a kid because the same thing happened. And the thing was, what happened was because, I mean, you're the same. You're a pure soul, and you trust pretty much everyone that comes in. So you can give so much trust to the people that don't reserve it, and you don't understand when to pull back your boundaries, and understand even the foundation of people that are supposed to be there for you can let you down very badly. So I went through that. And then I fell apart for about 2 years. Yeah, it was 2 years. I didn't know where I was. Went to work. I even had an anxiety attack in a class. It's going, oh my God. But I could feel it. Now I can understand what was going on. I understand the cortisol. I understand the past traumas not being dealt with, understanding the fear and how it came in. So I went through that process, and that if I hadn't had that experience, I wouldn't have met my friend Deirdre James, who's my mentor, my Reiki master. She's been sending me through that, and also Greg Riley and Michael McNair, who went through the shadow work. So we went through that, and he understood what's happening within your body that is affecting you right now. And that's pretty much in a nutshell, you can understand shadow work and understand the shadow, the dark side. They go the dark side, yeah, great. But then I understood what was going on, and then from there we understood responses, emotions, all those kind of. You like all good? Emotions, it's responses. We had to look at what happened when I was a kid and understanding the deep side of the body. You look at deep connection to the body and the universe and the soul. Looking at the chakras, all this thing that I've been learning actually had purpose now because I was trying to heal myself. But it was simply because I didn't have the training and I've been disconnected and been living in this fear, this life where I had to please other people. Everyone heard the people please and stuff. But it got to a point where you understand self-esteem was gone, self-confidence was gone, and you're sort of living a lie in some ways. That's why I never used to like myself. I used to think I was one of my characters. So when all that stuff, so all these revelations, you understand, oh my God, I was doing all this. Then fast forward to 2023, the twin flame happened. So basically, quick down with the twin flame. It's supposed to be two nice souls getting together, duality, go and live life happily ever after on Love Island. It doesn't work like that. All right, that's not the whole story. The whole story is when you do the twin flame, it's two souls, it's male and female separating, but it's a mirror image of yourself. So if you're willing to do the work and see what's happening right in you after you do, and I'm talking, we're going the depths of your heart, the depths of it, and really go into it. Some stuff's going to hurt, but if you have the strength to do that, you can move forward. And what you do is you see that in the other person. Okay, it could be the greatest love of all time. Don't get me wrong. It can be. Yes, absolutely. All right. And they call about duality again together. Oh my God, it's the the greatest love, all this stuff. Yeah, it's great. No worries. They're supposed to be there for you. But remember, you're looking at a mirror image of yourself and looking in what you're supposed to, who you are. It's usually traumatic in a lot of ways because you wake up to yourself and go, oh my God, this is what's happening with me. And if you accept that and take that fear on, they'll take that trauma on in a lot of ways in a safe way to grow. You can walk through what I call the forbidden door. This is what happened. I basically had a forbidden door moment where I go, right, I'm walking through the door. Now, I don't know what was going to happen when I walked through that door. I mean, the wolf was with me or whatever. I've got a couple of visions I can tell you right now what happened. But I had this white door walk through, and I did. The twin flames stayed right where they were. And that's their choice. Because even though you got twin flame and you're two souls, you still got your own journeys, life's lessons to come together, past lives, all that stuff. Everything still happens, but in this world, you're trying to come together to become become the one, and live the life and rule the world or whatever you want to talk about. But now it's all about yourself. So that put me on this journey from Halloween night from Halloween 2022 to Halloween 2023. Those are two significant. That's why I love the Halloween night, because that's when it all starts, because the veil is always off. It's always lower. Spirits, you can talk to spirits come in, all those kind of things. So from there, I've started writing up a Shadow Warrior course myself, just working out and this is based on my experience. I've done the life coaching courses and, massage, myotherapy, so I understand all that. But now it's coming together and putting it together into what we call the Master of the Shadow course, however you want to call it. But just to look into yourself, become a better person. That's where we're at the moment. Also, basically, the course is based on what I did to get the hell out. And still going, mind you. I'm not out. Not in case I'm not out. I'm out, but I'm here with an open mind to say I'm here talking to you. I mean, if I was saying I was talking to you, Luna, in a couple of years ago, I've gone, you must be crazy. I've got podcasts, interviewing people around the world. I wouldn't even thought about that.
Exactly. So we're gonna have to give this a little wrap up because our time is ending.
Absolutely,
But
no worries.
stay tuned because we're gonna do a part two where we can dive a little deeper into Jay and even Luna's twin flame experience because I feel like there's a lot, and I think we're here to teach more about the concepts. And I know there was a movie that came out, a documentary about it. I didn't watch
Oh,
it.
watch that one. That's we can talk about that one if you let me let fly.
Yeah, I definitely we're gonna talk about that, and yeah, we'll dive in a little deeper into the spiritual awakening. And yeah, so if you want to tell everybody how they can find you, and we'll also have it in the description box.
Yeah, guys, girls, everybody out there, our soul family, our white lighters. You can get me on Journey of a White Feather. You go hashtag Journey of a White Feather. You can get me on Facebook. Uh, you can get me on Instagram. Okay. And also I've got a LinkTree, which is basically got all my details on there, which I'll give to Luna to put on. You can get us on Spotify, and also you can get us on TikTok on Words of the Warrior. So that's where I do all my daily messages and whatnot. So you can get on that. So it's Words of the Warrior and Journey of a White Feather. If you hashtag those two things, you'll be able to find us. Also, just with the podcast on Spotify and obviously live on TikTok with Jackie Lyons, the 1111 Spiritual Transit podcast. And also we're on with Life Theories on Spotify and YouTube as well. So yes, and just quickly, we had a lovely interview from this lovely lady too. This is how we met. It was a great interview. So
Yep.
that's actually going live on Spotify in the next couple of days.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you all for joining and thank you for viewing. Thank you so much, Jay, for being a guest here on our show. We look forward to part two as well. So, y'all have a great time and we'll see you soon.
Take care, guys. Peace out.